What's up guys, 40 the BulbulSaiyan here, and in this video I'm going to be giving you guys a little bit of an account progress as far as where my account is so far currently in Eversoul, and then we're going to dive a little bit deeper on my personal post thoughts about Honglan's debut, and after playtesting her and using her in different party comps, what are my own personal thoughts about this character. As always, before we get into that, if you guys enjoy what you see on this channel, be sure to hit that subscribe button and turn on that notification bell. That way you guys are not missing out on future uploads. Leave a like on this video and comment down below how your account is so far in Eversoul, and if you pulled for Honglan, what your overall thoughts about this character is. I've been a little delayed in making this video because I've been going through some personal stuff recently, but I wanted to take the time to actually make this video for you guys. That way you guys have this information coming from me about how I personally feel about Honglan now that she's been out, for a bit now, and a lot of people have gotten to play test her. There's even a tier list that Pridewin did and a review on the character, which is very elaborate and it's awesome, so be sure to check that out. I'll be linking it down below in the video description as well as the pinned comments. As far as account progress goes, this is my current progress. I did go all the way up to pity for Honglan. I originally was not going to pull on this character, but I was highly convinced that she's amazing, and I ended up falling in love with her design too. I mean, she is a dragon chick, and I'm just loving this design. Like, she's giving me like Setsuka vibes from Soul Calibur. But as far as account progress goes, I have 7 origin characters now. I have an Eternal plus Haru and a few Eternals right here, so my account's been doing pretty well. I'm still missing the Ingame. I think she is a myth now as far as with my account goes, and I think my first copy is honestly going to come from Arena, because I still haven't pulled her. But this is pretty much where my account is right now, and a lot of the characters that I've been using are the ones, like, for example, these are the 5 that I use in a lot of content, and then I run like Vivian, and I run Catherine, Talia, things like that. So this is currently where my account is at, guys. Now we're going to go ahead and get into a little bit of Honglan and what I feel about her post-debut. So in a nutshell, for those of you that are still on the fence about her, Honglan is a debuffer DPS support. She enables better performance overall for your party, especially from offensive standpoint. She is not your main DPS. I see some people saying that she's going to be main DPS in your party. Now, you can make her your main DPS. However, if you are willing to do that, you have to go pretty far into investment. Like, I want to say at least Eternal or Eternal Plus, because while she does have a lot of factors that make her kit so great, she has stun, she has mana drain, she has that damage over time with freeze, she has that insane passive by just being on the battlefield by reducing enemy speed and evasion. Her overall damage, especially if her damage over time freeze gets shut down, it's not the best. You want to give that role to a more dedicated damage dealer. For example, Villana is a dedicated damage dealer. Her kit is all about dealing a ton of damage. Whereas Honglan's, if you want her to be your main damage dealer, you're going to have to invest quite a bit. I want to say at least Eternal Plus is going to be your goal if you're going to make her your main DPS. However, if you want to use her primarily as like your damage support, you're probably good at just Legendary Plus. I've seen some people actually use her at Epic Plus, and they've been doing just fine. Some people are actually farther than me, because currently in the Battlefront, I've been taking my time with it. I'm only on 16-8. Some people are way farther than that, and they only have their Honglan at Epic Plus, and they played smart with their resources. They utilize the level sync function. So if you're going to be using her as damage support, I'd say maybe get her up to like at least Legendary Plus. But for your main damage dealer, she requires more investment, and personally, I wouldn't go for her as your main damage dealer. I would have an actual damage dealer in your party and then have Honglan there, so then that way they can work hand in hand. But all in all, I've been very impressed with this character. Her insane passive, the amount of disruption that she brings to enemies in that stun, in the freeze damage, in the mana drain, is just absolutely insane. And I got mine all the way up to level 200, and I'm working on trying to get her to 201, because in my party setup, I like just spamming her main skill right into her ult, because what it does is it really shuts down enemy parties from using their skills on you, and then you have the opportunity to mount an even more enormous amount of offense on them, because they can't do anything, and well, you have all your mana. So overall, I've been very impressed with her kit. I think early game, I still feel like from a tier-wise perspective, she is at an S for me, just because I don't think she's really needed in terms of early game. I mean, her kit's pretty loaded, but I think you're better off with some other units. If you have her, use her, but in early game, I don't really think her impact is that great. But when we get to mid game and late game, that's where she really starts to shine. And I know that Pridebun recently updated their tier list for mid game and late game. There are some benefactors that you got to consider, and I highly recommend that you check it out on their website. But they gave her triple S for both mid-game and late game. And from a tier-wise perspective, even though we take these with a grain of salt because it's all about enjoyment, I actually agree with that. She's absolutely insane. She's a monster, and she's just done a lot for my party. Now, in terms of team comps, I've ran a few different ones here. So we're going to hop into Battlefront right here. So currently, I am running this. Now, I'm running 3 fairies. I'm running 1 beast and 1 undead. I don't get the 20% bonus from having the 4 same type and then having Honglan by herself as the only beast. I know that's a highly recommended setup for her, but I'm actually having fun with this one, especially because I have an origin for Vallana, and I've been enjoying using Vallana on this team as my main damage dealer and then having Honglan as the damage support. Now, in terms of Honglan's main skill, one of the things that I noticed, and this was mentioned also on her evaluation on the Pridebun website, her skill charge is pretty slow. Her main skill at least. So if you want to be using that main skill and you want to get to it quicker, you're probably going to want to run her with Talia and Vivian because they complement her so well. Talia giving your party that extra mana, Vivian giving that extra speed to your party. You're going to want to run her with at least one or even both of them. Right now I'm using both of them and I've been able to push content pretty well. Again, I'm only on 16-8. I could probably go a lot farther than this, probably up until the end or even middle of Battlefront 17, but this is the party that I've been using in terms of content thus far. Now, there's other setups that you could do. So another setup that I like to do is the fabled, 4 of the same type, and then afterwards Honglan by herself. So I would run Petra, I'd run Prim here, Jacqueline as my, backline disruptor. If they don't have a lot of dangerous backline, sometimes I would actually take Jacqueline out and go for Rebecca. But for the most part, I just really enjoy Jacqueline. And then afterwards, I'll stick Honglan in there, and then I'll have Vallana. So that's like another team comp that I have been toying around with. I do have a double tank setup that I also like to run. So let's change formation here. So another setup that I like to run is I would run, where is Claire? And then I'd also run Adrienne. My Adrienne is only Epic Plus, but her kit is just so loaded that she's great. And then afterwards, I would run 2 heals. So my 2 heals would be Catherine, and I would actually run Jiho for this because she's a really, really good healer. And she also has the whole speed thing going on for her. And then afterwards, I would put Honglan here. In this setup, Honglan does act as my main DPS because I did invest in her like crazy. But because of the high survivability, I've been finding a little bit of success with this party so far. But those are some of the party comps that I've been using for Honglan. Again, remember, if you want to make her your main DPS, because her damage modifiers are not the greatest, you're going to want to really invest in her. But if you're relying on her particularly just for damage support, you're probably good enough at like Legendary, Legendary Plus, or even Epic Plus, as I've seen with a few people. But all in all, I've been very, very impressed with this character. Like, she's just done a lot for my party. I've been able to push content for her, and I'm glad that I actually changed my mind and went ahead and invested in her. But let me know your thoughts down below on what you guys think overall about Honglan post her debut. How far has she pushed content for you? Did you skip her? Did you pull for her? And also, what are your next pull plans for upcoming characters? Because we already know that there's 2 new characters coming out. We have Erica, who Erica's kit was leaked in one of the stages on Battlefront 17. And then afterwards, we have Aki. I am actually going to be skipping Erica, or going to try my hardest to skip her, because I really, really want Aki. I want another damage dealer. But let me know what your guys' pull plans are. Let me know what you guys think about Honglan overall. Thank you guys again for watching. Stay tuned for the next video, and stay blessed, everybody.